Welcome back. Now we're going to get hands-on with slide design. We're going to start by covering general construction and style in this lesson, and then in later lessons we're going to get a specific component around building with data. Most of what we're going to cover in terms of design elements comes from the principles of flat design or material design, which is what you'll see in a lot of the current graphical user interfaces or GUIs on apps and platforms like Apple and Google. These firms put more information in front of more people on the planet than anyone. These GUIs must communicate typically a large amount of information in a very short period of time, and they do it through clean, contrasting graphics, legible font, quick, smooth, and deliberate animations to facilitate interactivity. So we've got a couple of examples that we're showing now of flat design and material design. As I get into this section, you'll see me walk through how to do certain design elements in PowerPoint. This course is not meant to be PowerPoint 101, and I'll tell you right now, it's entirely possible some of you may even know a better or faster way to do some of the techniques that I'm going to be showing you today. If so, no problem, shoot me an email. I love to learn. More importantly, share those tips with your classmates. Some of the techniques I'm going to show you may be done faster or more easily through templates or SmartArt, but things like SmartArt can sometimes get you about 80 or even 90% of the way there, and that last 10% can take you forever. So a few of the manual approaches I show you for creating and editing objects, icons, and other visuals can help you quickly make something appear exactly as it needs to support the story. We're also going to share some other resources with you separately that can really up your PowerPoint game. One technique you'll see me use a lot is quick copy, typically with object locking. What I'm going to show you is a technique that some of you may already know, but in case you don't, this is going to be something you wish you probably knew a long time ago. So as you see me go through some design elements, you'll see me create a shape. We go up here, let's just keep it simple and we'll throw in a square. So I've got a square, but what if I want a lot of squares and I want them to be similarly spaced apart? So what I'll do is I will build out a square, then I'll hold down Shift and Control. You can see it changes the cursor to have a little plus sign. I'm now going to hold down my left mouse button and drag it out. You see those little lines that are created on the side? That keeps the image from, or that keeps the icon from wavering to the left or right. By holding Shift, it locks it in place and I'm not able to move it. So if I want to move this direction, I'll bring it out here. So what I can do is I can make multiple objects. You can see the spacing is done automatically for me. We'll talk about that more in a bit. I can grab them all, Control Shift again, and I can start making copies across the page. Much faster than copying, pasting one at a time, right? It gives you the ability to create lots of graphics relatively quickly. So if you knew this already, awesome, but there are only a few people who don't, and they wish they would have learned it years ago. The next thing we're going to talk about is selecting a template. We want to keep the same look and feel throughout the deck, so we'll want to have a standard design template. We can build our own, we can try and use PowerPoint's embedded templates, or we can pull from an external repository. Here are a few points to consider when using your template. The first we want to consider is real estate. There are templates out there that utilize substantial headers, footers, side borders, lines, colors, or blocks, but regardless, they cut down on your flexibility in later design. Let me walk you through an example right now. So here we've created an example for Raptor Bank. This is their template. It's fancy, it matches our colors, but you can see that I have a significant amount of space that's dedicated towards the template and the border, and it cuts down the amount of space I can actually work with. So let's take a look at how big of an impact this can have. So let's say I wanted to put in a chart, a graph, some sort of visual element. Really, this is about as large as I could go. And it's running into the border, it's running right up on the edge. I can't go any further south on the page because I'm going to hit that diagonal line. So what if I go to something more simple, right? I just have my logo down there on the bottom right. I've got a simple line at the bottom that's going to allow me to demarcate my links and any other citations that I'm going to put at the bottom. But I have so much more space to work with. Let's see how much more. You can see this is the same size object that I had on the other page. Now take a look at what I can do with it. So much more information that I am able to get because I'm using a different template. You can compare. The blue area on the prior slide is the max I can go versus the orange I have right now. Make it easy on yourself. Pick a template that gives you the most amount of room to work with, because if you make it too small, you're going to have to cut down your font size. You're going to have to cut down your object size, which makes your slides harder to read. One other challenge with these, in addition to cutting down your real estate, is they absolutely kill the color ink in your printer. And you all know how expensive color print cartridges can be if you're printing something at the house. Let's talk about background color now. White gives you the most design flexibility and is going to save you time and energy when you're bringing in external elements like pictures, charts, tables, etc. Yes, I realize it may seem boring, but it's easy. Also consider that you can change the background color from slide to slide, but I would really only do so occasionally, as it may cause you some challenges when it comes to contrast for things like organizational logos. Let me give you an example. So here we are with our Raptor Bank clean template. White, we've got green logo down there on the bottom. If we want to switch our background color, take a look at what has to happen, right? We have to have a new logo down there with a new color in order to have the contrast if we're going to maintain that consistency slide over slide. New logo color, new page number color, new line color at the bottom. If we try and bring in charts or graphs, we have to make sure that they're transparent. If we have a picture that comes in with a white border around it, we're going to have to do a lot of cropping. It may seem like a minor point, but if you are building out a significant number of slides in your deck, everything takes time. And the more time you spend on little details like this, the less time you have in actually building your narrative and making an effective presentation. Let's talk a little bit more about page numbers. Most audiences and presenters find them useful, particularly in QA or when providing feedback on a draft deck. So if I were to email my deck to somebody, they could easily come back with the page numbers and say, slide 8, that title seems a little long-winded. Slide 9, the icon looks like an injured giraffe. What's it supposed to be? That was a lot, right? We'll pick this up in the next video.